Hey, Kevin. What are you wrestling with?
Wrenches. Gotta love them. This is that longevity MigWeld 140 that I've been playing around with. And I thought, well, this time let's go ahead and I'll show you how to hook up the spool gun so we can play with some aluminum. So I just hooked it up to the argon bottle off of my TIG welder. And now we're going to go inside. Look at that stuff. Great little placard inside that shows you all the different wire sizes and wire types and polarity, and just gives you lots of parameters on how to set up the machine to do what you do. But now let's take it apart. So in order to put the spool gun in, we have to get the regular wire. This is flux core that we were playing with last time, so we got to get the flux core out of the gun so we can get the gun off. It's real easy. You just find the end of the gun, snip off the ball on the end, a little bit of ball left over from welding, and just loosen it up. Loosen up the tension on the roller, get rid of some tension on there, and just save some wire. Let's go ahead and pull all that out. I'll just go ahead and stick it through the hole in the spool. Bend it over, set it aside. That way we don't have a big rat's nest to play with. And then we'll just go ahead and pull the MIG gun out, the regular gun, back off that little wing nut right there. And remove the control cable off the front of the machine. So we can just go ahead and set him aside, because we'll hook him back up later to go back to steel again. Now let me grab the spool gun and we'll throw that on there.
Now, is this the same kind of spool gun you'd have on a larger machine, Kev?
It's the same basic thing, sure. It's got a lead to get the power out of the machine for the actual welding. It's got the holes in the machine, or holes in the cable, to get the gas from the machine up to the end of the spool gun. And then it's got the control lead, just like on the regular gun. This hooks up the trigger in the spool gun and the rollers, so everything will work when you pull the trigger. But basically, it's the same as you would get on a bigger machine, on a different model machine, on a different make of machine.
But they're not interchangeable.
I really don't know if they are or not. I did look at my Miller spool gun, and it has a different connector on it here to get the power out of the machine. So, no, I don't think they're interchangeable from one to the other.
Now, does that spool gun come with the welder?
Thank you for asking. In the last video I did on this machine, I said that the spool gun comes with the welder. I was wrong. I'm sorry. No, this is an accessory. You have to buy these separately. So we'll just go ahead and put the power lead in, right where the other gun was. Make sure it's in all the way into the bottom. And then you come back inside and just tighten up that little wing nut again. While you're in here, once you tighten up that wing nut, come on up here. See this little diagram? This is for MIG welding, and this is for the spool gun. So flip that switch to spool gun. So if you ever change your wire, your solid core wire, you take out the solid core, you put flux core in, the other way around, whatever. If you're ever in here doing something and you're working with your drive rollers and all of a sudden they don't work, check that switch. I did it the other day. I hit it and flipped it the other way, and I stood here for 10 minutes trying to figure out, why doesn't it work all of a sudden? Big fingers, little switch. Spool gun, solid core MIG welding. Remember those. And then on the front of the machine, just go ahead and hook up your control cable right where the other one was. That's it. All hooked up, ready to go. So now let's take a peek inside here. This is cool stuff too. So this is your spool gun. It does come with a roll of aluminum wire, a spool of wire.
And is the spool gun only for aluminum?
Boy, you ask good questions. You know, I've always wanted to play with that. I've always wanted to try putting a roll of copper in it and try welding with copper, or a roll of stainless or something like that. I just never really gotten around to it. I don't see why it wouldn't work, but I really don't know for sure. Anyways, check in here. So this is your tension nut. This is what you would take off to put the spool on and off. This is the tension knob for the roller for the wire feed. And then the other end of the nozzle where it goes out to the gun. You just get it inside. I took a screwdriver and just put a screwdriver in that little Phillips screw, and I could turn the roller by hand just to help feed the wire in to get everything started, put it all back together. And there you go. Got the wire out the other end, you cut it off a little, now you should be ready to go. Turn your gas on, slight touch on the trigger to help purge the line, so you've got argon right up to the end of the gun. Hook up your clamp, hook up your, get your helmet, get your gloves, go to work. We'll do that in the next video. You guys stay tuned, okay? See ya.